Hold on. Yes, we're live.
We are live. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, how are you?
We're live. Hello, how are you? Okay, so welcome to the HB Book Club, and today we are doing the April Book Club chat, and that is for the book Fervent by Pricilla Shirer. You can see all my little notes on the side. This was such a good book. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in. I have a list of questions, which I always make. So if you are part of the HB Book Club and you go over to the HB Book Club group on Facebook, you can ask to join and you can catch on everything there. You can catch up with our next book that's coming out in May. And I always will post the questions that we're going to review here on Book Chat. And just a reminder, anyone can come on to Google Hangouts. It's easy, isn't it, Lisa?
Oh, yes.
Really, all Lisa did was gave me her her Gmail account email, and I went on to Google Hangouts, sent her an invitation, and then she accepted it, and she popped on the bottom. And so it's that easy. So if you're considering joining us for the live in May, please do so. It's super easy. I know us older women get intimidated by all this, but it's not hard. So what we're going to do is an icebreaker, which we always do for the beginning. And remember, over on the side, there is a group chat. So you can enter any messages if you're jumping on at any time. You can go ahead and chat with us. Remember, if you're watching this later on YouTube, I'm going to encourage you to answer some of the questions because I know some of you are busy tonight. We just have things happening, but we keep moving forward with our once a month book chat. But go ahead and answer some of the questions because I go back and look at it during the week. I think we all do. So you are welcomed as we go through to answer over on YouTube because this will then be posted to YouTube. So with that in mind, we're going to start with our icebreaker. And our icebreaker today is, what is your reading goal, Lisa?
My reading goal is to get at least one book a month read.
Very good. Mine is the same. Which I'm very proud, and that is exactly why I started HB Book Club, is because I'm one that needs accountability. So even meeting with you right now is like, it's exciting to me. It's like, okay, this is good. I get to meet with my friend. I get to talk about a book. Life is busy. You're at a convention or something for your son right now, so you're actually in a hotel. So we're able to still sit and do our thing. My husband's cooking dinner, and we get to talk about our book. It's so much easier than getting in our car and sometimes and getting out where we need to be. So my reading goal right now is also to read 12 books, one a month. And I think I'm going to go beyond that because last month, if I finish a book early, I end up having 2 spare books on hand and I'm still playing with them. So I may get up to 14 books this year.
Wow.
So that's not bad. I mean, 12 seems like a lot for me because I didn't read much. So this accountability has really helped me. So that was our icebreaker. Anybody else leave a goal over on our Facebook page or over in the comment section here on YouTube? What is your reading goal? What is your goal for this year? Is it to just do a few books or, do one every single month with us? Let me know what your goal is. All right, let's go ahead and start with the questions. Number 1, what would you rate this book on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would rate it a 9.
Okay, I rated high too. And why?
Oh, it just brought back a lot of good scripture that I needed in my life. And also too, I thought just some of the things that she says is just so transparent and just so she thought through it very well. So I just really like the book.
Hold your book up. I like all the little.
Oh yeah. I was trying to do your colored tabs, but
no, let me see it. Oh, that's
it's a rainbow. Good. It's the rainbow book.
I love it. I know I ended up using washi tape with like pink. See the pink? I just love with that. But we'll get into that in a minute. So I rated it an 8. The only reason why is, and this is personal, I felt like I've read this in so many different shapes and forms because of the spiritual, putting on your spiritual clothing, you know what I mean? Your spiritual warfare, pretty much Ephesians. So for me, it's an excellent book. But for me, it was like, I loved it, and I'll tell you why later on in the questions, but it wasn't like I didn't get a 10 because I've read something like this in other forms of books, but it was still good. The other thing that I want to say to the reason why I rated it high, because I believe that 8, 9, and 10 are high ratings. This could be a great Bible study.
Oh,
I
definitely.
see this as a huge Bible study book. We're doing it in book club, but man, I just feel like this could be a 10 if I broke it down more and we were actually going through it on a weekly basis and taking each strategy in a group of women and then praying over those strategies together. I feel like then it's a 10. An 8 doing the reading on my own, but a 10, I think there's power when there's people coming together.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I wouldn't mind revisiting this and maybe starting this in the HB Bible study and maybe over the summer. I don't know. I'll see where I go. There's something about this that there needs to be more done with it.
Yeah, because it's so much information.
Yeah, and but it's not confusing. Like it's easy, like very easy. And I think anybody that's watching the review on this will see how easy it is. So, okay, great. What did you like best about this book?
I loved having some scripture to go along with what we're dealing with in our life. Like for the family, I just love to pray over my husband and my children and have some nice scripture to go with it.
I liked that too. That was the best thing I put, is the resources that you could, basically every strategy. For those that have not read this, there's strategies for every chapter, from identity to your passion to your family, to your hurts. And you can go right to that strategy, find the verse, and then begin praying. It's like, boom. It's one of those that you do not need this in an Audible book. Like this has to be in your, as a matter of fact, I highlighted this. I think it was at the very beginning. It was on page 2. This book is not meant for pretty reading.
Right.
Right there. Yep. I love that. And I circled it. And this book is meant to, you could actually take this book, and if you're under a strategy in family and you're struggling something with a child, maybe that's struggling with addiction or anything, you can go into there and start, I believe, right in this book and start messing it up and writing. Right.
Yeah, that's what you wanted me to do.
Yeah. I don't think you even need to overwhelm yourself with, oh, I got to set up a strategy, create a war binder, create a binder. Like, I don't want anybody to see mine and go, oh, that's too much work. You could just you could start it right in this book.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because sometimes I felt a little overwhelmed with this book.
Right.
Just because of it was great information, but it was some of it was thought provoking. So you needed to spend a little bit more time.
Yeah, I think you could start where, strategy number 1 about your passion, and then it gives all the verses. I think you could start journaling right next to every verse that was listed. So that was my favorite. It was clean and precise, and the resources were very, very organized. So if anybody's watching later or you're watching this now, please comment down in the YouTube of what did you like best about this book. We want to hear from you. Number 3, share your favorite chapter on this book. Or I'm going to go ahead and say strategy, because strategies are chapters. Did you have a favorite?
I don't know. Go ahead and you can answer that one.
Okay, I'll answer it. Mine was family. Right now, just because I feel like that is where the enemy wants to attack, whether it's finances, that's the number 1 thing I think where attacks are going to happen between you and your spouse. I think that's something that's huge for us right now, just because I've got a daughter in college, a private college. It's not cheap. I've got a daughter getting ready to go to college. I've got a son in the Navy getting married next year, and also a daughter that's graduating during the same month that he's getting married. So the enemy wants us to feel like we're not going to make it, or, oh my gosh, ends are going to be tight, but that is not true. And she made me realize that you need to start praying over the doubts that the enemy puts in your mind. And also, I believe not seeing my son and him being in the Navy underneath in a sub, anything can happen.
Right.
And praying over our children. She had specific verses, because she stated something like Satan knows the character and the personalities of us
Right.
and our children, so he knows how to attack them. And when I read that, I actually took a ton of notes. So this whole section is noted up because I thought I began to look at each one of my kids' personalities, and I was making notes of what Brittany's like, what Olivia's like, and what Ben's like. And it is so interesting that is exactly how the enemy attacks them. Like,
Right.
my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's a beautiful girl, and people would not know that she struggles with self-confidence.
Oh, wow.
Feeling like she always constantly feels like she's ugly and she's not good enough. And after reading this, I sent her a text on my phone and said, "You are strong, you are beautiful, you are confident." And I took some of the verses out of here that day in family, and it was like I didn't have to think hard. It was right here. This is all I needed to do that morning.
Right.
You know? And so this I'm going to completely keep over my family. There was a verse in Proverbs that said, "Don't fear sudden danger." This is for my son in the Navy. "Or ruin of the wicked when it comes, for the Lord will be your confidence, and He will keep your foot from snare." And, so I found a verse for all my kids, and I put it in there, and then I'll show you in a few minutes where I rewrote it. But you don't have to rewrite it. You can do it right here for those watching. It can become your journal. So family was huge for me. That was my favorite chapter. And I have to say, your past. I'm looking right now and I'm like, wow, that's pretty labeled up too.
Yeah, we all have those.
I'm not dealing. I mean, I don't feel like the enemy's constantly reminding me of my past and future because I wrote about it and I put it in a book. And I feel like that has just that has been my like, ha, don't mess with me.
Sure.
I got you back moment. But that was my favorite. So what were yours?
I was, I've been struggling with the hormone thing. So focus has been really kind of hard for me to like, okay, like I like you're saying, time out, stop and pray and just, so it was just nice to have some focus and get some equipment to strategize to get me through some of these hormonal issues.
There's times, oh gosh, I just pray I don't go back to that season, but you never know because I just talked to a lady and she's like, every season of menopause changes.
Right.
And I thought, oh my gosh, and every woman is on a different degree of it. So we're just it's impossible to say I get you or I relate.
Right.
But I know when I struggled with what I went through 2 years ago, finding any verse on anxiety, or peace. And even though I prayed it, and I'm going to be dead honest, I prayed it. I had a friend that came over, my friend Lydia came over and actually put anointing oil on me because I literally could not catch my breath. My husband watched me. I thought I had to go to ER because I couldn't breathe. I could not breathe no matter what. And when you're going through all of that and at the same time trying to figure out meds at work, that's really hard because I never was on any meds. And so to feel a med in you and then feel that feeling and then all of this, I was so overwhelmed. That was the worst season of my life. And I didn't have this book at the time. So what I was doing, which I love that this book is, you can actually get the verses.
Right.
Where I was going on my phone and Googling anxiety verses, panic attack verses. And I have those now, and I have them still. And if I go back to my journal from 2 years ago, there were times that I'm writing, and I remember writing, I can't breathe right now, but I'm writing. And I'm still alive to this day, but even though sometimes you're in the pain when you're literally at war.
Right.
It's not pretty. And so I understand where you're at.
Yeah.
I completely do. Trying to get the hormones stabilized, and a lot of people said to me, well, keep praying. You don't need the medication. You know what? Maybe you need to pray harder. That wasn't the case. My body was so out of whack. I even went to a Christian doctor to just verify that. And I was so out of whack at the time. I needed help to stabilize me.
Yeah.
Where I could let because every woman, this was so interesting too, and not to get off the subject, but we're talking about ourselves here, which is part of this Bible study. Every woman's hormones, I didn't know this, just like the lady was trying to show me, like kind of like a Jenga, it just breaks down. And some women can go like this, and some women layers just come out evenly and they don't feel anything. And for me, my estrogen went boom, all at once within about a month.
Right.
And when that happens, your cortisol and everything that helps you with stress is not there because your hormones help you manage all that.
Yeah.
Hence, total panic attacks. And if my husband was here right now, he would tell you it was probably 2 months before I could drive a car. Just the nervousness of cars on the side of me or going into a grocery store and all these people around me, your hormones do all of that.
Right. Yeah.
Every single bit of it, our hormones manage all of that. And so when I think of the power and how God created our bodies and then the power of God's word over it, I can honestly say every verse that I prayed over me, I wasn't better immediately, but I hung on until I started feeling better. And that's the key. I was able to get through it. But I can tell you, I probably, in the most beautiful months of the summer 2 years ago, June, July, and August, I didn't enjoy anything. If I went outside, I didn't feel comfortable. I stayed in my bed, and I'm not embarrassed to admit that. It was just the season that I was in. But my friends and people that I could be, very true, and people would even say, "You went through that?" I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, I don't tell a lot of people, but having a Bible study or being in the Word by myself is what really, like, I knew God's Word was alive. It was very specific for me.
Sure.
So that was huge. Now, I'm sorry. Did I cut you off or did you tell me your favorite chapter?
Yeah, it was focus.
Okay, that's right. Right. That's how we got on focus. Focus. Stay on that. Keep reviewing it because I know you're in that season right now. Even if we go to the next book, keep that going because that's what got me through my season. I like that. Focus. Number 4, did you utilize the prayer cards?
I didn't utilize these. I ended up making index cards and putting those verses on index cards with those rings, so I could flip.
Oh, you did?
So they were on the rings so that I could flip on them. I could just put them in my purse because, I could have used those today too because all the noise here and all the stimulation with the kids. I mean, it takes a lot out on me.
Yep.
So I'm bummed, but I did bring my book. So I was like looking at my book at some points because I was like, okay, I can feel, like you said, you can feel it coming on, and it stresses you out. So I had that, but I have them in my bag. So like at work, I can look at them before work or at lunch. And
I like that idea. I know exactly what you're talking about. The ring around the index card.
Yes.
That's perfect. Because I've been shoving this in my work bag and I would have it and take it with me. But I ended up, so this is kind of going with question number 5. I'm going to combine these together because I'm going to have where it says, did you create any prayer strategies? So basically, I'm assuming that you created a strategy according to how you felt on an index card and put it on a ring.
Right. And then I can just pull them out and look at them when I need them. And I did it through all of them. I didn't just do it on my focus, but what I did was I took colored ones and used them kind of like to match my book.
Yeah. Okay.
So that way it was different.
I'm like looking at you going, okay, wait, I like that idea. Because all I did was, and this is only one, but this thing comes with me everywhere. Like it goes everywhere with me. So I have mine. We won't talk about this crazy thing. Okay. I have mine under here called War Binder, which is, hers is called, as you can see, War Room. This is War Binder, and you can see some of the verses here. What I did is I labeled it at the bottom, family, passions, because she started off with the passions in the beginning. And then these were the verses that I'm claiming for passions. And right now, these are my top 2 for family. And of course, I have more. I just don't have them listed. They are listed, but they're under prayer. And so I have the verses, and then what I end up doing, so this is just my strategy, is every single morning I have devotional time, and I wake up and I have a clean piece of paper that says the prayer journal. And I will sometimes, what I was doing during this study is taking one of the verses, putting the memory verse here, and then writing out how I wanted to pray over that. So specifically, yesterday, I was praying for Britt in confidence and for her to glow up. I don't know why that word glow up, but I was using all the verses in here, and I just wrote the verses out right there in here. I don't know. There's something about writing a verse out for me.
Yes.
That feels like I did my prayer. If I was to just sit and go like this in a chair and pray, I would be sleeping.
Yeah.
So I just woke up. I won't fall asleep in the morning. So I actually have to sit up. And a lot of times I'll sit right here. And I just have to sit and just write it. And then I feel like I'll shut this and go, okay, I wrote it out to God. And then I feel like I can go on with my day. And I felt like I actually wrote it. So all I've been doing is, my strategy has been taking, so at the beginning of her book, she'll put, I don't know why I like reading it. It's kind of negative, but at the beginning of each strategy, I like the way she said, if I were the enemy, I'd seek to, disintegrate, what is that?
Where are you at?
Disintegrate your family and destroy every member in it. I'd want to tear away at your trust, your unity, and turn everybody's love inward and on themselves. I'd want to make sure that your family didn't look anything like it's supposed to. And so when I read this, it reminds me of what the enemy's up to every single day. And so I like reading that again.
Yeah.
It makes me go, okay, I'm feeling like this right now because he's making me. So this is big. I tend to go here again just to remember what my war looks like.
Right.
And then what my strategy is. So I want to be reminded of the war. Otherwise, we just take it for granted, like this is life. It sucks. And it's not. We can get out of it. It's not. So.
Well, it just makes you feel better because you know that Satan is trying to control you, but you have the power to control yourself with God's word.
Yeah. And so that's why I like the way every one of those started. I was just like, I like the way it started. And then so it says what he does, and then what is our call to prayer when she said call to prayer. So, okay, good. So that was my strategy. That's what I'm doing with my journaling. Which strategy is most important to you now? Do you have one right now that's really important? Probably focus, right?
Yeah, focus. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going through the menopause, your hormone imbalance, you're trying new meds. And so, yep, I get it. I love it. I think that's right on. And mine is family. Just a lot going on with my son, my daughter, coming back from college, just everybody kind of, I can't see everybody right now as a mom. Like I can't see my son every day and my daughter every day. So the lack of control has me worried, but yet on how the enemy is going to get into their life, because my one son's a talker, but when you're in a sub, they're not allowed to call. So I don't get to talk to him for 3 months, and that's really hard. And then my other daughter, in Hope, is to herself. She only calls a lot when she needs money. What's going on in her life, I don't know all the time. She's not as open as my other daughter, who will tell me everything. So I need to be praying for her. And I feel better that I prayed. Like I feel like I've protected her. So my strategy again right now is definitely family. Number 7, do you struggle with prayer? And if so, will this help you understand or create a plan?
Well, I usually don't struggle with prayer. Prayer is very important to me, and I've actually, since I've been 10 years old, I knew God answered a very serious prayer for me. So I always knew he was there and I can always rely on him. So that's been prayer has been very important to me, especially as an adult.
That's your gift then too.
Oh, yeah. So I don't really struggle with it, but now with all the, like, again, going back to focus, it's just been really hard to focus in on that, and I feel it. Like you were saying, if you don't spend time with God and say, devil, go away, it really compounds you.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes all you need to be doing, I know for me, all I would do was put my headphones on and listen to TED Talks or
Mhm.
pastors.
Mhm.
Stephen Furtick is a huge one of
Oh, yeah.
I would listen to him. TD Jakes. I would listen to TD Jakes. Joyce Myers. I would just put on messages, and I would, like you said, I would fall asleep to them. I would listen to YouTubers too, just like you do. And that again is why my passion, which is another one of my favorite strategies, because I know the enemy will put in my head, you're not going anywhere. Because I stopped teaching at Faith, where I was
Mhm.
teaching full time there in women's
Mhm.
ministry, and then started teaching at the church that I'm in now. But right now we're getting ready to move in the next year. And I'm at this place going, where are you going to put me now, God? Am I going to have a place? Am I going to have a church home? Will you allow me to be used? Nobody's going to want me. Women are already going to be in this church. People are going to not want me. And the enemy just is attacking my gifts already and my
Mhm.
passions
Mhm.
with me, trying to figure out where I need to be. And even makes me lazy someday. Because like last year, I did a lot of speaking events. This year, I have only done like 2 or 3. And my
Mhm.
husband just said, because you have not, it's almost like the enemy makes me lazy to my passions.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
more comfortable. So,
Well, it goes along too with your fears.
yeah,
Remember how she was talking about that lady who was a good counselor, and she was going to write a book, but she was so scared
yes,
to
yes,
write a book.
yes.
That kind of when you were saying that, I'm like, oh, that's fear.
Yes, because I have 2 more books. I want to write. I want to put my dream Habakkuk study into a book.
Oh,
And
wow.
actually write it into a book and use it at conferences. And my husband's like, have you moved on that? Have you called an agent? Like, I want to publish my next book different. No. And the enemy knows just to keep me compliant with not moving forward on it
Right.
for no
Right.
reason. And so I've had to set goals in here at the beginning of my book in here. I have goals set of, okay, I need to do this. Like, I need to step forward and do this. And so every time I look at that, I'm like, okay, a week went by and I haven't. Well, this week I've actually reached out
Oh,
after
good.
reading Fervent. I've reached out to some agents because I realized how the enemy's attacking my personality by
Yeah.
making me just not care about it and just feel complacent.
Right.
And like, oh yeah. And my husband's like, Heather, they're not going to come to you. They
Right.
don't know you.
Right. And
Well,
she was
YouTube
saying
helps for
too.
sure, but
And she was saying, like, I liked what she said too in here is like, if you're not using your gifts, how can he use you? So if you're sitting there in fear, that's totally the devil.
right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So my answer for number 7 is, do you struggle with prayer? Yes and no. Yes, I pray, and my prayer is just like I showed you. I have to write it out. I have to get up in the morning and read a devotion and then write out whatever the verses I studied, write it out in prayer. I have to have something. I can't just sit and look at a piece of paper and pray. I
Mhm.
fall asleep. I don't know what it is. I have to get up and write it out to God like I'm writing a letter. So, no, I don't struggle with prayer, but yes, I do unless I have if I don't have a strategic plan. This is why I love this. I love the visual of how she put um, um, post-it notes in her
Mhm.
closet where she got dressed,
Right.
and they're already on her wall about
Mhm.
her parents or her husband or whatever, and they're in there where she gets dressed.
Right.
And so it made me think, wow, Priscilla's, a public speaker and she gets attacked and everything, but she's not just sitting expecting it to come to her. She has it on the wall.
Right.
So I liked that visual too, that you need to really get dirty with prayer and figure out, like,
Mhm.
how are you going to make it happen? Put the verses somewhere, send the verses to your kids, send it to your husband, walk it out.
Mhm.
You can't just expect to wake up in the morning and go, dear Jesus. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Right. It doesn't.
Almost. So
I like
it's
too that this was a heritage, her grandmother started this.
Yes.
And that was so cute. I love that, like going to McDonald's and getting your little shake and fries and driving along.
I
And
love
it
that.
just brought back memories of how that's how my
And, she talked about how, and I loved this too. Grandma didn't have a journal like this.
Right.
Grandma had the spiral bound, cheap old dollar store, and it was just marked up to town. And I thought, I want my kids to know that. Now, if you ask any of my kids, they'll tell you that I'm hairy, scary, crazy on planners. I've always had a planner. I've always had a journal. They've always known me up in the morning with my old Bible that I still have, and I just get up and my husband knows every one of it's just something I do. I love that time, and I don't think I'd be the woman that I am today. Yes, I make mistakes. We all do, but
right.
I wouldn't feel the conviction, and I wouldn't feel the prodding that I do if it wasn't for that time. So again, this book is a book that I think I'll keep in my work bag all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those books that I don't think we'll just throw on a bookshelf. I think it's something that we'll use. So number 8, what tools guided you from this book? And I put the verses.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other tools in here?
Sometimes there's stories, like, like we were talking about for the fears, story of her, that was like, so like, yeah, you're right. We need and when we're hearing our friends talk like that, or our children, I can't do that. We need to remind them that that's fear and that's coming from the devil and not
that's good.
The Lord.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the tool of get a Post-it note and stick it in your closet.
Yeah.
If something's really, really bothering you. And I know for me, when I was going through that time with my hormones, I had, I always carry one of these around every single day. They're from the dollar section from Target, just a clipboard.
Oh, cute.
And so I have whatever, this is like my daily agenda, whatever verse I need to see in front of me all day long, that's what's in front of me all day. And so I remember I had like 6 things written out when I was having panic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I can feel them sometimes come on me. Like if I'm at Target or Costco, this is going to sound so silly, but the bright lights in the big buildings bring it on. But I also, that book, I don't know if I told you about it, but that one book, 54321, that I'm reading, that book, 54321, and then claim a scripture, it helps a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, we're wrapping up. Number 9, what chapter and pages do you have the most highlights in? Where's like most of your notes at when you look at it?
Focus.
That's so good though.
Right, because that's where I'm kind of like,
see, that's really true. You and I this is all family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people that are watching this, you may not be in the season of focus, and you may not be in the season of family. You could be in the season of shame right now, or hurt, or you don't know how to forgive somebody in your life. There's a strategy for that, and your fears, your hurts, and you may have that all marked up. Right. So I don't believe we would have every chapter marked up.
Yeah.
The season you're in.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see as we go along, like over the years, to see what's next. Like, because like you said, you went through what I was going through, and now my kids are kind of starting to get there. So like maybe in 2 years I'll be there where you're at.
2 years ago, it would have all been focused. 2 years ago, I would have been completely focused. Right now, I really feel like it's my family and a little bit of relationships. I feel like, and I just posted a YouTube video on my We Believe vlogcast that I do on relationships, and I've been battling a little bit with my mom, and so the chapter in here under relationships really, really, really helped me. So I have that marked a lot too, which also helped me with my talk. So a little bit of stuff came out of here. So that's awesome. Okay.
One thing too I want to add is my favorite quote out of here, the whole thing, was prayer is your kryptonite.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite quote out of the whole book. Because
what page is that on? Do you remember?
I'm actually trying. Oh yes, it's page 5.
Oh, okay.
Because prayer is the portal that brings the power of heaven downward to earth. It is the kryptonite to the enemy and to all
All his
the
ploys against you.
boys against you. Yeah. That's like my favorite. Because it's so true.
It is. Prayer is so powerful. And she made that come alive. She made you grasp the significance of prayer. And I think what made it so real is watching her grandma pray.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she made you understand. I also liked how somebody sent her an email when she's getting ready to do the film to let her know, be careful because the enemy is going to start attacking you. And so when we start doing well or start doing something, he does attack. And she was able to realize that. She was like, oh, I'm seeing where it's at. And so we just become so stupid not to even notice that.
Right.
And you don't have any plan to come back after it. And so I love the way she made that black and white. Like, you better have a plan because it's going to happen.
Even too, like your oh, I'm sorry, it's in Ephesians, your body armor on.
The spiritual armor.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
That was really cool too.
Your belt of truth, your helmet of salvation. Like I said, this represents the spiritual armor, Ephesians, a lot. I mean, she kind of wings that all in here, but she does it in a better way. I like it. All right, number 10. Did you receive any new information, as, okay, you being a Christian, and again, some people on here, this could be your first time dabbling in the Word of God and dabbling with the things of God and understanding prayer, and so welcome and take your time. God will let you know where you're at, and he'll guide you in that journey. But for us, did she word things in a new, fresh way? Or did you receive any newer information, or was it old information just received differently, which made it alive?
Yeah, I think that just the reminder of how powerful Satan is.
Yes.
Or how much, you know what, I guess rephrase that, how much we allow him to be powerful in our life.
Very good.
I think that was mine.
Allow him. And I wrote the same thing. I put down, it's not necessary things I already know. I just feel renewed and prodded to get back on my horse because the enemy is studying me. That's what I wrote down. Like,
awesome.
He's studying me today. And so if I'm getting attacked and sometimes I'm just too lazy. I'm laying in bed like, oh, I don't even want to deal with it.
Right.
And that's my fault. It's just a simple breath prayer. And God will, help. I remember when I was going through that, he'll give me enough energy to make dinner for people. He'll give me enough energy to go get the groceries. Sometimes those were my only prayers that morning. Like, I know I need to get groceries. I know I need to be happy. I know I need to love my husband, but I don't even understand myself. And to realize that the enemy wants to shut you down so you're no good helps you just get that little bit of, no, I'm going to get up, and if I have to make a little bit of a spaghetti dinner and go back to bed, I'm going to get it done. And that was kind of like how I felt. And I feel like her book's going to give you just enough of a specific move for the day to help you get through it.
Right.
And that's what I loved about it. Easy read.
Yeah, it's very easy read. Hello. Did we disconnect?
Did you hear me? Oh, did we disconnect?
I think for a minute we disconnected, but
would you say this was an easy read?
Yes, I think this is an easy read at times. Sometimes it was hard to read because I'm like, oh, shoot.
Right. But then for somebody that's walking new and maybe not in the Word of God a lot, don't you think this is a good place?
Yeah, I actually wish I would have had this when I first got married and had children, because I would think it actually even before, because I could have started praying for them before things.
It teaches you. This teaches you. It really, really teaches you, and it helps you to receive. It's a great reference. This is a good book to give to somebody getting married or to mom. This is a great present, and it helps you. And believer or non-believer, it'll push you in that direction. So
great.
Excellent review. So anyway, that is our book review for April. And thank you for all those that are watching and listening. Please leave comments later on YouTube. I want to hear from you. Let me know what you rated the book. Answer just one of these questions. I'll have these questions listed down in the description box for you. And our May book is Breaking Intimidation by John Bevere, and we'll be starting that in a week. So I've already ordered mine on Amazon. I'm excited about that. So I'll be popping on over at the HB Book Club, and I might even come on with a video and just kind of help you review the beginning of the book for the first week. And we'll get going on that, and we will have the book review for that the last Thursday in May. So I'm praying that we have a few more people join. If not, I am doing this with Lisa, and I know that more people always watch this later, and that is a blessing because it goes everywhere on YouTube. So many people that are thinking about reading Fervent and not even part of our book club may check this out just to know. So I pray that Lisa and I were a blessing to you, and that God uses this. And Lisa and I pray over anybody that watched this, and we just pray that God brings you blessings, and that his sun may shine upon you and guide you, and that you'll learn some things from this book. So it was a blessing.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so I'm going to sign off and upload this, and I will talk to you off air, and we will talk to you guys all in the May Book Club chat. Bye, guys.
Bye.